Do you run a traditional store, online store, or temporary store like pop-up shops? If you do, this video, which is going to introduce the Consumer Guarantees Act to small and medium-sized enterprises, will help you a lot. Consumer Guarantees Act 1993, aka CGA, is an act that applies to both suppliers and consumers. It sets the product standards to make sure you are providing goods and services with high quality to your consumer to guarantee consumer rights.
So how do we define the consumers? To be your consumer, first you need to make sure you are in trade. To be in trade, you have to take part in commercial activities such as supplying goods and services regularly. One of transactions cannot be regarded as in trade. And as for your consumers, they need to be people that normally purchase goods or service for domestic and personal use, but not for resupplying, reproducing, or as a tool to repair other fixtures on land.
What do you need to do to guarantee to your consumers under CGA? We'll have two categories, goods and services. First of all, if you provide goods, your products need to have an acceptable quality. It needs to fit the purpose of the goods that you supplied. And of course, you must make sure it is finished and has an acceptable appearance. Besides, businesses also need to supply goods that comply with their description and sample. Also, consumers would hope the goods they buy are insured with safety and also be free from minor defects. Last but not least, imagine you are the consumer. You would not like to buy a laundry machine that only lasts 2 days and then break, right? Therefore, that's why you also need to make sure your products are durable. For the service, reasonable skills and care for the particular field are required, as well as your fitness for a particular purpose or result. Apart from that, make sure you finish within the time contracted. If there is no contract, you still need to finish the task within a reasonable time. Most important, give a reasonable price to your consumers. What if consumers are unsatisfied? If the goods or services can be fixed, then consumers can choose from repairing, replacing, or refunding regarding the situations. If you fail to repair within a reasonable time, consumers can also find someone else to repair the product and then claim the cost back from you. What if you cannot fix the goods or goods are of a substantial character, which means goods are either unsafe to use or unfit the purpose of consumers, or it departs from its description? In this case, consumers can either choose to refund or replacement or obtain damages for the consequential loss.
Are there any situation that you can contract out of CGA, or should I say, getting rid of your responsibility? Of course there are. First of all, contracting out is a breach of the Fair Trading Act. The only exception is where the product or services you sold are for business purpose and both you and the buyer are in trade and agree to contract out. The agreement must be in writing. Terms must be fair and reasonable. Let's assume that you are a microwave retailer. Amber, a student who purchased a microwave from you to use in her apartment. Can you contract out of the CGA? You cannot, because Amber is not in trade. Brian, the boss of a business. He bought 5 microwaves for employees to use in their office. And you both agreed to sign a contract to contract out of the CGA. Is that allowed? Of course. Brian's purchase of the microwaves is a business-to-business transaction. So you two are in trade, and you two do have a written contract. If it is fair and reasonable to sign a contract with him, contracting out is possible. As an SME, you need to understand what is your responsibility on the CGA. It regulates your trade and what kinds of guarantees you provide for your consumers, and what will happen when you cannot provide a guarantee. If you fail to comply with the CGA, you might face some penalties, such as if you attempt to mislead consumers about contracting out of the CGA, you will face fines up to $200,000 for an individual, or $600,000 for a company or other body corporate. If you want to behave better in your business, you will have to get your act together. Getting a general understanding of consumer law is something the best of both worlds.